Okay, welcome back. Some principals also have joined. Welcome back, sir. And welcome back to all the participants. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, today we will have this serial number in which you will be presenting. First Z.Ed Gwalior, Z.Ed Mysuru, Z.Ed Mumbai, Z.Ed Bhubaneswar, and then Z.Ed Chandigarh. And as usual, you will be given maximum 15 minutes. First, you, as she told you, I think that particular slide was also shared with you. One max topic and one real life topic. Do it very clearly and no need to explain a lot of things, but the main thing is how you have developed it and how it helped the children, and she was going on telling interconnectivity of all the subjects. Let us have a idea about how it is interconnected with other subjects also. For example, social science, or something like that. Well, that is a need of the hour for PISA also. But I think can we start with Z.Ed Gwalior? Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please, you can start.
Okay. Good evening. I am from Z.Ed Gwalior. This problem which I have taken here is taken from the real life situation in which an old lady has 19 camels and she wants to distribute them among her 3 daughters. But the problem is that she wants to give half of the camel out of 19 to elder daughter and 1/4 to second daughter and 1/5 to third daughter. And as we know that half of 19 is 99, 1/2, 1/4 of 19 is 4, 3/4, and 1/5 of 19 is 3, 4/5. It means 9 plus 4 plus 3. Total is 16. 16 camel we can distribute easily, but the problem is with the remaining 3 camels. So we have to kill these camels if we want to distribute according to the wish of the old lady. That was her last wish. So to fulfill her wish, we have to kill the camels, but it is not good. So what I have done here, see this first camel, half part of this should be given to the elder daughter and 3/4 part of the second camel to second daughter and 4/5 part to third daughter. So without killing these camels, how we can solve this problem? So for that, I have taken one more camel, means they have borrowed one camel from the neighbors, and now this group contains total 20 camels. So if we have 20 camels, so what we can do here is half of 20 is 10, 1/4 of 20 is 5, and 1/5 of 20 is 4. It means 10 plus 5 plus 4, total is 19. 19 means the total number of camels which that old lady was having. So without killing any camel, we can easily distribute 10, 5 and 4 camels among her daughters. So the things which the student can learn from this, besides the mathematical say concept, they can learn that we have to fulfill the wish of our parents, that is respect parents, able to save the life, as we say that save animal. So without killing the animal, we have solved this situation, this problem mathematically, and the problem is solved without any fighting or dispute between the daughters. That is, we can relate this with the social science also. So the main objective of this activity is that without causing any harm to any animal, how we can distribute all the 19 camels among the 3 daughters. Thank you.
And on this, Gina?
Yeah, can I respond?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so my only comment for this is like the mathematical outcome, the learning outcome is not very clear. And secondly, I think this problem is known to a lot of us. Like, I was thinking people will like actually develop a new model, something which will capture a new situation. So I feel there is a like I think this group need to put a lot of work to bring some new context. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Can we move on to the next model, please, from Z.Ed Gwalior?
Good evening, everyone. Presenting my screen.
Yes, continue.
Sir, presently we are facing COVID-19 pandemic. Now let us talk. I'm presenting this PPT regarding this only, and this is a real time. At present, this is only a real life problem which we are facing. So I have collected some data from the official website of health, and I have collected the confirmed cases, active cases, cured cases, and death cases. Date wise means, and every day as cases were there, but I took only the last dates because it was not possible for me to take everything and interpret in a data form. So I took only the last dates. I have made one. So with that data, I have to make first bar graph, and then um, we can explain to the children how can we make the with the same data, how can a line graph can be made, and a bar graph as well as histogram. I'm just showing you the histogram also. Histogram, these are the colors. Okay, these are blue is shows confirmed cases, red shows active cases, yellow shows cure cases, and green shows death cases. And children can very easily know how this graph is fluctuating, and actually how we are recovering, and everything is very clear to them. And we can also make separately pie chart also. I have tried to make one pie chart of confirmed cases, and for everything we can just put it into the formula and we can make it. So by taking a single data, can interpret in various ways to the children, and so that the children may know it in a better way. The learning, first of all, in this, they will feel curious to collect the data, that is our raw data, and will just collect and make it in a chart or any range. Means what is the requirement of the graph, they will form it in that, and then they will interpret in the graph form. Thank you, sir.
Any comment on this, Janet madam?
Yeah, this is good work. Basically, what my only comment is like what are we predicting or inferring out of this data can be more elaborated, but it's a good work, so I would appreciate this work.
Thank you, ma'am. We can, by showing to the children, we can analyze it in a better way, and can do it in other. We can ask them to collect the data and bring it to me, and then we can show them. Just put it in the formula and just make the range. And class-wise, there are different type of data interpretation forms. Even to until class 10th, we have the different type of data interpretation. We can just put this question to all the children of various age group.
Okay.
Any other model from Z Gwalior?
Yes, sir. I'm presenting.
Yes, please continue.
Good evening to all. Here is a mathematical modeling. Topic is simple interest. This problem is based on our daily life. Here is a question. Question is, a girl Pooja want to buy a bicycle of cost of rupees 8,000, but she has only rupees 5,000. Her friend Neha suggested her to deposit money in bank at the rate of 20% per annum in saving account. Here is a special offer in Corona, that is 20% per annum interest in saving account, and buy bicycle. Now after how much time Pooja will get required money for bicycle? So for solving this problem, we will take, it is given that cost of bicycle is rupees 8,000, money puja hai only 5,000. Extra money required will be 8,000 minus 5,000, that is 3,000 rupees. Here is rate is given 20%, principal will be 5,000 because puja has only 5,000 to deposit in bank. The extra money which puja required will be simple interest which she required, and time is not given, we have to find the time. We will calculate time by the formula of simple interest, and we will get 3 years. After 3 years, puja will get 3,000 extra money, that is simple interest. Learning outcomes are, the students will be able to, first one is identify rate, time, principles. सपोज इनको कोई प्रॉब्लम में भी दिया है तो कैसे वो समझेंगे डेली लाइफ में कि रेट क्या होता है, रेट परसेंटेज में होता है, टाइम और प्रिंसिपल किसको बोलते हैं, जो बैंक में सबमिट करते जो डिपॉजिट करते हैं उसको प्रिंसिपल बोलते हैं, ये सब बच्चे बता सकेंगे. सेकंड वन इज अंडरस्टैंड अबाउट टाइप्स ऑफ इंटरेस्ट इन सेविंग अकाउंट, मतलब सेविंग अकाउंट में कैसा इंटरेस्ट मिलता है, और यदि कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट हो तो वो उसके लिए कौन सा अकाउंट चाहिए, इसके बारे में बच्चे अवेयर होंगे और उसके बारे में जानना चाहेंगे, तो क्यूरियोसिटी उनमें आएगी. थर्ड वन इज अंडरस्टैंड अबाउट मैथमेटिकल ऑपरेशन. इन दिस क्वेश्चन वी हैव यूज्ड मल्टीप्लिकेशन, डिवीजन, so students can learn so many mathematical operations. Next one is they will be able to give examples of different situations and required criteria. जैसे उनके सामने कोई प्रॉब्लम ऐसी आ गई तो उसके लिए क्या क्या उनको नीड होगी, क्या क्या उनको चाहिए, कैसे वो उसको सॉल्व करेंगे, तो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग भी वो सीखेंगे. नेक्स्ट वन इज कंपेयर डिफरेंट सिचुएशन लाइक दिस प्रॉब्लम. ऐसे बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स आती रहती हैं लाइफ में, तो उसके बारे में भी बच्चे सीखेंगे. नेक्स्ट वन इज अप्लाई दिस सिचुएशन इन रियल डेली लाइफ. वही है, जहाँ जरूरत होगी उस तरह से बच्चे सोच सकेंगे और यूज कर सकेंगे. नेक्स्ट, अवेयर अबाउट सेविंग. सेविंग इज वेरी नेसेसरी, क्योंकि लाइफ में बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम कभी भी आ सकती हैं, तो बच्चे सेविंग के बारे में भी जानेंगे. नेक्स्ट वन इज लर्न अबाउट अप्स एंड डाउन्स इन लाइफ. जैसे लाइफ में बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम होती है, पेरेंट्स के पास ऐसे पैसे नहीं होते हैं, तो बच्चे उसकी वैल्यू समझेंगे और पैसे सेव करेंगे, और कभी ऐसी प्रॉब्लम आई तो उसको सॉल्व कर सकेंगे.
थैंक यू सर. Any comment?
Yeah, thank you, sir. It was a good work, but two comments. First of all, like it's not very clear why simple interest is used, and whether bank actually give a loan of rupees like this is small amount like rupees 3,000. So whether it is actually a very realistic modeling. And thirdly, I feel sometimes this modeling exercise become a very simple question which will have a direct solution. So modeling actually may bring in more complexity. It is fine to have complexity because, as sir also highlighted, that it is good even if different things are coming in. This interdisciplinary nature of mathematical modeling is coming in. That is totally fine. Even if it is becoming complicated, it can be dealt properly through modeling. So, but I think you are planning to do it when you wanted to improve this kind of model. So it is good work, I said. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thanks to all the participants of Z.Ed Gwalior. We are moving to Z.Ed Mysuru. Ready?
Yes, sir, ready.
Okay, continue, Mr. Rasul.
1 minute. Screen.
क्वेश्चन करना चाह रहे हैं?
Yes, sir. स्क्रीन डाल रहे हैं. गुड आफ्टरनून टू ऑल.
सर, आपके पिन डालने से हमें नहीं दिखेगा, हर एक को अपना पिन आपको पिन मारना है, तभी उनको बड़ा दिखेगा.
You simply do the presentation result.
Yes, sir. So, good afternoon to one and all. To raise the innovative spirit of the students, if they hear the concept, they will forget. God given the gift, that is. If they see, they can remember up to a certain level. If they do something with their own hand, they can understand the concept. Main motto of the mathematics is they have to understand. Then only, instead of if the teacher teach one problem, so the children can solve 100 problems. So to understand the mathematics, so while solving the questions why, what and how, to all these questions, so children should come to know their answer by themselves. So in that manner, I am going to teach some of the concept. I am going to derive one simple formula. So I make so many formulas. I am having the so many concept here, but I am going to introduce one simple formula. So that is so about how to convert some of the figures and derive the formula. For example, all of us we know. So this is a cube. Children know this is a cube, but when we say the face, so how many faces it has, how many edges it has, how many vertices it has, so automatically they will have confused. So which is the face, which is the vertex, which is the edge, so what is the relation between all these? So children will have a lot of confuse. That too, up to 7th standard level, one formula I am going to introduce, how they are going to learn the concept, how they are going to derive the formula. So for example, so this is a face, flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 6 faces. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 edges, 3 edges meeting point is known as corner. The corners are known as vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It has 6 faces, 8 corners. And if you see the edges, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are otherwise 4 plus 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 12 edges. To identify the relation for any polyhedron, children can come to know the formula. So what is the formula means? I will ask the children, so how many faces it has? So it has 6 faces. How many vertices it has? It has 8 vertices. What is the total? 8 plus 6, that is equal to 14. Afterwards, keep it aside. Afterwards, count the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It means it has 12 edges. So how many less means? So it has 14, it has 12. It means how much is less to equate both. So then they will say 2. It means faces plus vertices, if you add edges plus 2. So it is working for cuboid. Now I will take one cube. So this is also, it has 6 faces, 8 vertices, 12 edges. Same formula, it will work out. If you take for example, it is a pentagonal prism. Pentagonal prism, if you take, so faces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 faces. 5 plus 2, 7 faces. Vertices 5 plus 5, 10. 10 plus 5, 10. 5 plus 5, 10 plus 7, 17. If you come and count the edges, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. How many less? So 10 plus 7, 17. So here it is 15. 15 plus, so equate to 17. How much you have to add? 2. So it means, so 10 plus 7 is equal to 15 plus 2. So faces plus vertices is equal to edges plus 2. So this is over. So they know this is a hexagonal prism. Hexagonal prism also, if we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 plus 6, 12. 12 vertices. Faces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 12 plus 8 to 22. So it means if you take the counting the edges, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 plus 2 is equal to 20. So like that you take a hexagonal. So you are taking the prism. Now we are going to take the pyramid. So if we take the pyramid, so it is a 1, 2, 3. It is a regular triangular base pyramid. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it has how many faces it has? It has 4 faces. How many vertices it has? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 plus 4, that is equal to 8. Now you come to the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 plus 2, 8. It means, so faces plus edges, vertices is equal to edges plus 2. It is satisfying for this. Now, so we are going to take the hexagon, octagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 one, it will satisfy. So not only for this, if we take any, this is another one. So if we take any, so this is a triangular base prism. If we take 3 plus 4, 5, 5 plus here 3, 6. So 5 faces plus 6 vertices. 5 plus 6, 9. Now count the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 2 is equal to 12. So like that you take any polyhedron, you check. So either it is a regular or it is a irregular, or for example, I am going to take polyhedron with combination of solids. So it is a prism, rectangular based prism. So the upper one is a pyramid. If you combine, you will get the solid. If you take this also, faces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 faces. Vertices 4, 4, 8, 1, 9. Yes. So 5 plus 4, 4, 8, 9. 9 plus 9, 18. Now you come to the vertices, down 4, side 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You are getting 12 plus 2, that is also 14. So like that, so you take one model. So if you take this model also, faces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It has 9 faces. Vertices 4, 4, 8, 1, 9. 9 plus 9, 18. Now you come to the conclusion of edges. Edges 4, here 4, here 4. 4, here 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It means, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 4 is 16. So 9 plus 9, 18. 18, 16 plus, how much is equal to 18? 2. It means, so faces plus vertices is equal to edges plus 2. This one you can combine. So for any polyhedron or any solid figure which is a shape of a polygon, base is a form of polygon. For example, so the children will have a lot of idea about so what is the difference of this is what is that this, what is this. So they are not able to identify, so which is the 2-dimensional, which is the 3-dimensional. So 2-dimensional means, generally I used to say that, so actually this is, so if you take any vertex, from that you can move this side, you can move this side. It means, so you take the paper, so you paper only, so you can move from the corner in 2 directions. So this is a 2-dimensional. If you take a 3-dimensional means, you go to any corner, you can go your side, you can go this side, you can go that side. It means, so you can, from this you can move 3 directions. So it is a 3-dimensional. Now the children, how to convert? So the 2-dimensional to 3-dimensional. 2-dimensional, one upon another, you keep it, so or down or up, you are going on keeping it. So length is there, breadth is there, it is a 2-dimensional. If you raise the height, you can convert into 3-dimensional. So like this, so children will have a lot of confused, so any polygon. Polygon, if you take, so convex polygon, concave polygon, like that, they are having a lot of problems. So you take any polygon you take. So I used to, leisure time, I used to make all the models.
Okay, Mr. Rasool,
Yes, sir.
your model is on Euler formula.
Euler formula, sir. Yes. Faces plus vertices is equal to edges plus 2.
I think you will not explain the formula first, and you will ask them to explore.
Yes, sir. I said no, sir. Any example you take.
No, I'm just asking. I think your model is actually exploring the Euler formula.
Euler formula. Euler
Okay.
formula, how to
Okay.
derive what is the relation, how
Okay.
the children can understand.
Jinat,
If they know if they know
Yeah,
if
sir.
they know the faces, what he says, they can identify the edges. If they know
Okay.
edges
Right.
and faces, they can
Fine.
identify the vertices also.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
fine.
Here, you don't have to elaborate it any further. You actually gave a lot of examples to do that.
Yes.
Basically, while talking about learning outcome, it is good to kind of list down what all like mathematical concepts one is trying, like exploring in this. Like they are visualizing different shapes, the edges, the vertices, and the relation between sides, vertices, like edges, vertices, and exploring the Euler relation. So even like Euler relation is the final product, but before that also they are engaging with lot of mathematical practices through these physical models,
Yes.
which you are using as a pedagogy.
Depend upon the situation I am acting. So whatever the way, for example, on the way, if I take the 2 sticks also, I can continue 2 periods, because so for example, if I take these 2 sticks, so parallel lines, intersecting lines, so 2 parallel lines are intersected by a transversal. So all entire chapter I can explain with the help of this. So children then and there itself they can model. So with help of their pens, with help of their pencils, their refills, so they can make any model and they can learn themselves.
Okay.
That is
Thank you, Russell sir. Any other model from Mysuru, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm going to present one real life situation, sir.
Okay, please, Satyanarayana sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, is it visible, sir?
Please continue. Yes, please continue.
Sir, and is it audible, sir?
Audible also, please continue.
Yes, sir. Sir, this is I have taken the real life situation. That is the estimating fish population in a pond. See, from JDT Mysore group, and VV Satyanarayana, Kendriya Vidyalaya, Kurnool, at our region. So how many fish are there in an aqua pond? This is my real life the world problem. How to find number of fish in an aqua pond? So this is the one method I have adopted here to find the number of fish in aqua pond. So let there are n number of fish in the pond. So let it. We don't know that we are going to find out. So that is the procedure follows like this. Catch as a sample 30 fish, cast some first using net, and mark them all 30 fish, a ringing or anything, rubber band like that. Then set them all free. After marking the 30 fish, set them all free in the pond and wait for some time. Let them move. So now again, that is a recap. Okay, recollect the fish as a sample. For example, here let them be 50. Now among 50, you count them. How many are marked fish? So marked fish out of 50, how many are there? For our convenience sake, let 5 out of them are marked fish. Now find the ratio of all the marked fish. That is that obtained in step number 6 and step number 2. That is 5 by 30. You see the one ratio we have taken. Now find the ratio of fish caught in step 4. We have collected this one, no? 50 fish. Step number here, 5 I think here. And total number of fish in the pond. Total number of fish in the pond we have taken as N. And this is 50. Now find the ratio 50 by N. I'm sorry, here should be 5. Okay. And this is 50 by N. Now take this one proportionately. We estimate this. These are in proportion. So 5 by 30 is nearly equal to 550 by N. So this is the relationship is developed by estimating. Then this is the equation is formed here and we formulated, and from there by we have found the number of fish is 300. Now as this is the situation, and this is solution also. Now how it is applicable to the mass modeling. So mathematical description, we want to estimate the N, the number of fish in a pond. So we catch or fish or number of fish and mark them and then set them all free. Okay. The catch n fish of which x are marked. Out of n fish, x are marked. I am taking the variables here. So r and n constant to determine and x is in a observation. How many fish are there in the pond? So how is formulating? So before going to that, we'll have some assumptions. That is that the time when r fish out of the total number of n in the pond are captured and marked. This we have to do. The later time when n fish are captured, of which x are marked. This is recapturing stage. That is, there have been no births. This is assumption, or deaths, and no immigration or emigration. You also assume that between times A and B, here A and B, the fish swim randomly around the pond. That's why I asked for you for some time. So that marking and recapturing are both random. This is assumption which I made it. Now a mathematical formulation, estimating. Thus you should have that is n by n is nearly equal to x by r. That the ratio of this marked one, ratio of the second capture and total number of the fish. The proportion of marked fish in the lake is about the same as the proportion of the marked fish in the sample at that time. Therefore, you see the relationship which developed n is nearly equal to n into r by x. But the specific numbers which you have seen an example suggested in our question, that n is equal to 50 into 30 by 5. That is 300. Okay, this is the maximum formulation, how we arrive at the solution. Our interpretation, some problems will be there. Sometimes we may not get a marked fish for the sample fish. Then we should drop the trial. We should not count the trial. Again, should go one more trial. For another trial, we get more number of marked than any other sample fish. I think that is possible. So ratios may vary. For that, we shall take number of trials. So for that, what we should do? For one trial, you may not get correct answer. So for that, we should take number of trials and record n values, right, for number of fish, and find its central tendency to find a proper estimation of fish population in the pond. That is it. And you see, for example, here, we will take here how we have done it. So let the number of marked fish is constant. Though it is variable, we are making the constant here, or is equal to 30 for this trial. Where the number of recaptured, always we capture, recapture time we take 50 fish. So then formula for fish population n is equal to n r by x, where n and l are we made them as constants. The only variables are changing is total number of fish and the marked fish. So I made a tabular form. So I made the 5 trials here. Number of marked fish x, that is for this is 5, 10, some, and the third trial 6, and fourth trial 2, like that. Now total number of fish n is equal to, then we using a formula apply here. So then divide by 5, we get 300, divide by 10, we get 150. So like that I have taken all the trials I have taken. So from that a simple 7th class that is 7th class level I have taken this arithmetic mean of fish population in the pond. Add up all the values, divide by the number of values. We get a 310. So we estimated that number of fish in the pond will be 310. And the next is, what are the learning outcomes of this? Students apply the knowledge of ratio and proportion in real life. Students understand the estimation concept to solve the real life problems. Students find relation between the factors in the formula. So normally 1, 2, 3, 4 factors are there. 4 variables are there to see. They find relationship among them. Students formulate a real life situation into mathematical formula. And students apply the knowledge of arithmetic mean in real, that is data handling also. So these are the learning outcomes of this one. And this is the presentation. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Nice presentation. Janet madam, your comments, please.
Thank you,
it was a nice model of a mathematical model, actually nice example. I really like the whole thing, and yeah, I don't have any like comment to improve it, because it in itself was very good, and you also articulated the learning outcome also at the end very nicely. So it's a good work. I would say it is a really good work, connecting lot of real problems with like mathematical concepts and using the mathematical modeling context. So it is good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Mysore team. Sir, please stop the presentation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can we move to Z Mumbai?
Yes, sir. I'm sharing my screen. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, continue, please.
Okay. Yes, good evening, everyone. I'm Akansha from Mumbai region, and I'm presenting the realistic model in my group. So as you can see there, I'm showing some headlines that in the Corona times, the most common word that we all have been listening to is mental health. And there are some headlines that I have shared that are related to mental health. You can see that some causes of concern, the WHO report, the virus taking mental toll, benefits of exercise and all that. So the problem that our group has taken is the mental health among teenagers in COVID times. So the meaning of mental health is refers to cognitive, behavioral, and emotional well-being. It is all about how people think, feel, and behave. So in our group has done a survey in which we have taken students of the age group 16 to 20 years, and the survey is in relation to the mental health. The questions and the result I'm going to show below. And the survey was completely anonymous. The names or another personal details are not asked because this is obviously a mental health survey. The only details that we have asked is the age, the demographic location, the number of family members, and the child is a student or he or she is into any profession. So these are some of the questions that are asked. Firstly, there are positive element evaluation, which is related to the ability to learn in the COVID times, the drive, motivation, curiosity, stability, calmness, all these intrinsic attitudes of the children that can be affected. So they had to judge themselves on the basis of score 1 to 5. And then there were some questions which are completely related to COVID-19. And because we can see that many negative elements are being developed in the students in these times. So they were like, how would you rate your aggression towards others' effect during COVID-19? And the fear, anxiety, restlessness, all such questions were there. And the options were like that they have never felt anything like that. It has decreased, it is same, or it has increased. So when all these questions were asked, this appendix B is going to show that what was there, what was the result. So for the positive evaluation, the first part of the which I have already shown you, that how is the ability to learn and drive motivation, we have seen that most of the chart, the bar chart is showing, that most of the points are from 3 to 5. So it has not been affected very much, but it is not in a very good state as well. But when we see the negative effect evaluation, it actually shows that the aggression is 41.7% increased in most of the students. And it is same, but 33% students have said that it has increased. If you see fear, anxiety, restlessness, then 52% students have said that it has increased. So all these negative effects have been increased among the students. So these are all the statistics. And in the end, there was an appendix that how to address this issue. To address the issue, it was asked from the students that if their mental health has been declined, or do they think that mental health is a serious effect on their career and all, and also that how is how to handle this issue according to the students. So the conclusion is that entire mathematical charts that we have prepared, so by that, because we had to interlink many things, that the students who are living separately without their parents, so they might have another, so all these charts, when we related to them, then it came to the conclusion that students who are living alone, that are 12% have high level of anxiety in these times. Students in the age group 16 to 18 years, that is 41%, have a lot of stress related to their studies. 56% students believe that this COVID-19 situation is going to affect their career. 73% of the total believe that there is increase in their frustration levels during COVID times. 53% were hyperactive. So analyzing the complete mathematical model, the solution that we have come across, because the mental health is really a very common topic these days, and it has come into the limelight in COVID times only, because people are so restless and they are full of anxiousness. So this is very important to take care of the mental health and have a positive self-image. So this thing, this conclusion is that the existing and growing problem needs to be addressed, and the very first step is that teachers and students should support each other. The teenage students can spread awareness also on the social media platforms and mutually help each other. Also, regular mental health sessions with the experts, a helpline number dedicated to the same, and counseling which might be provided to the students for their mutual well-being in these difficult times. So this was our model. Thank you, the reality-based model.
Okay, thank you, madam. I think some questions are to be changed if it is to be used at school level.
Okay.
Over to Jinat, madam.
Yeah, I also like.
मैं सुरेंद्र प्रसाद बोल रहा हूँ. मैं ये कर रहा हूँ इसका. एक मिनट बस प्रेजेंट इंटायर स्क्रीन.
Sir, 1 minute, sir.
मुंबई रीजन का ही हूँ सर.
Sir,
I just wanted to respond to.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, so it would have been good if you could have also articulated the assumptions that were made in the previous models. Like you explained mental health connected to cognitive, emotional. So what cognitive parameters those survey elements have checked, if at all they have checked, all are like the personal, I think, personal opinions.
Yes, they are of the students only. Yes.
It would have been good if it can be triangulated with other people close to that person. So these can be some assumptions, which is like, while one is making some model, it is good to always articulate the assumptions on which it is based. And again, as sir said, it is good to like situate it also in the learning context where students also learn something out of it. So, so it is good for a, like, as I said, as an informed citizen, it is good to engage with such kind of modeling exercises.
Yes.
That way.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Surendra Prasad, you can continue now. Hello.
Yeah, we can see the presentation. Maybe sir can start now. But I can't hear anything.
सुरेंद्र सर माइक ऑन करिए. सुरेंद्र सर माइक.
आप क्लास 8 और ऑनवर्ड सरफेस एरिया एंड वॉल्यूम स्टार्ट हो जाता है तो बहुत सारे टीचर्स क्या करते हैं, छोटे बक्से लाते हैं, चौक वाले बॉक्स लाते हैं, चौक निकाल करके फिर उसके वो सिलिंड्रिकली उसका वॉल्यूम निकालते हैं, रेडियस और वो धागा से पेरीमीटर निकाल करके लेंथ लेकर के उसका वॉल्यूम निकालते हैं, और फिर उसके बाद यहाँ पर और इसका भी वो वॉल्यूम निकलवाते हैं और फिर चौक और इसमें डाल करके कितना आएगा दोनों के वॉल्यूम, फिर उसका कितना चौक आएगा मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं. बहुत सारे टीचर्स इसको मैच बॉक्स लेकर के ये बड़े वाले बक्से में ये डालते हैं और उसके बाद उसको मेजर करने कहते हैं, एक मैच बॉक्स का ये करो और इसका करो, और फिर उसके बाद इसमें कितना आएगा वो डिवाइड करके उसका वॉल्यूम निकालता है, लेंथ इंटू ब्रेथ इंटू हाइट करके. तो एक मिनट. अब उसके बाद ये लेंथ इंटू इसका, क्योंकि यहाँ पर क्या होता है, लेंथ हम नाप लेते हैं, ब्रेथ नाप लेते हैं और उसके बाद हाइट नाप लेते हैं. द फॉर्मूला फिर उसके बाद लेंथ इंटू ब्रेथ इंटू हाइट इसका वॉल्यूम निकाल लेते हैं. और लेकिन जब हम इसकी जब हम लेंथ इधर से नापते हैं और बाहर से नापते हैं, अंदर से नहीं नापते, तो हमें थिकनेस भी थोड़ा सा मतलब ये देना पड़ता है. तो थिकनेस के लिए अगर हम इसे टी मान ले तो फिर उसके बाद इसका जो लेंथ, नया लेंथ और ब्रेथ हो जाता है, वो क्या कहते हैं, लेंथ इधर भी थिकनेस है इधर भी थिकनेस है तो L-2 और W-2T और H-2T हो जाता है. और फिर यहाँ पर ये फॉर्मूला यूज कर लेते हैं. फिर उसके बाद बहुत सारे ये भी है, प्लास्टिक का बॉक्स लाते हैं और इसमें पानी डालते हैं, जो भी प्लास्टिक का होता है इसमें पानी डालते हैं. तो इस तरह से हम लोग 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 में इसी तरह की क्वेश्चंस किताब में होती ही हैं, और सीसीटी में भी बहुत सारे ऐसे क्वेश्चंस इससे रिलेटेड होते हैं. लेकिन अब रियल लाइफ में हम इसको जब आएंगे तब उसके बाद क्या कहते हैं कि अब हम देखते हैं कि बस उसके बाद किसी का मैच बॉक्स है, बड़ा बॉक्स है तो उसमें हम डालते हैं. फिर उसके बाद आपने ये मिठाई की, जब आप ये स्वीट्स की दुकान में जाते हैं तो अगर वो क्यूबाइड स्वीट्स है तो उसके डिफरेंट पैकेज, 250 ग्राम का अलग पैकेज होता है, ये 500 ग्राम का अलग होता है, फिर उसके बाद 1 kg का अलग होता है, वो डिफरेंट का ये होता है. अब मोबाइल बॉक्स भी आती है तो मोबाइल बॉक्स जब हमारे पास आती है तो उसमें सिर्फ एक ही क्वांटिटी होता है, तो एक छोटा सा पैकेट होता है. लेकिन जब डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर जब मंगाता है तो उसका एक बहुत बड़ा पैकेट के अंदर होता है. तो वहां पर भी हम बहुत ज्यादा यूज करते हैं। स्वीट बॉक्स में ये यूज कर सकते हैं सोशल, ये पूरा रियल लाइफ में। फिर आप लोगों ने ये भी देखा होगा कि बस उसके बाद एक छोटी सी टंकी होती है, जहां एक घर होता है, सिंगल बैंगलोर होता है, वहां छोटी टंकी लगाते हैं और वो एक बकेट का, ये मान लेते हैं कि एक बकेट 20 लीटर का है, तो पांच बकेट नहाने के लिए और बाकी 5 ये 200 है, तो वो 200 और 2-4 दिन 5 दिन के लिए 1000 लीटर का बनवाते हैं या 500 का बनवाते हैं, उसी के अनुसार ही बनवाते हैं। फिर उसके बाद अगर ये 3 ब्लॉक का जो टंकी है, वाटर टैंक है, वहां पर आप देखेंगे कि वहां की टंकी की साइज अलग होती है। जो सोसाइटी, पूरी सोसाइटी कंबाइंड है, वहां की टंकी की अलग होती है। तो यहाँ से हम पूरा एकदम बच्चों को ये कोरिलेट करके दिखा सकते हैं कि कुछ नहीं है जो आपने यहाँ प्रैक्टिकल मॉडल के थ्रू किया था, पूरा का पूरा वहां पर भी वही यूज हो रहा है। इसमें कहीं भी कोई डिफरेंट थिंग नहीं है। अब अगर ये सपोज कीजिए कि किसी एक सोसाइटी है जहाँ 400 लोग रह रहे हैं और एक घर में एक बकेट यूज कर रहा है, 5 आदमी है हर घर में, तो अब वो 100 लीटर यूज कर रहा है, तो ये कितना बड़ा, मतलब कि 2 दिन चलाना है तो कितना बड़ा टैंक होगा। तो वो सिंपल सा, अगर वो इसको मॉडल को अगर उसने किया है, इस मॉडल पे देखा है, समझा है, तो वो आराम से उसको हम बहुत बड़े बिग मेवे में ले जा सकते हैं। और दूसरा, जितने भी हमारे ये क्या कहते हैं, ये पैकेजिंग इंडस्ट्री है, पैकेजिंग इंडस्ट्री है, वो सबका डिफरेंट साइज का बनाती है ताकि वो कॉस्ट कम हो सके, ना कि डिफरेंट यहाँ पर ये जो हम बच्चों को छोटे में सिखा चुके होते हैं, अगर हम उसको यहाँ पर को रिलेट करें तो पैकेजिंग इंडस्ट्री इसी तरह से अपना वो ये खर्चा भी कम करती है। बहुत सारे ये आपने देखा होगा, कभी स्कूल में हम बच्चों को यहाँ भी दिखा सकते हैं कि स्कूल में कंप्यूटर का CPU आता है, कंप्यूटर पूरी आती है, CPU आता है, एक बड़ा बक्सा आता है, उसमें से भी छोटा छोटा बक्सा निकलता है, इसी तरह से जैसे मोबाइल है। तो वहां पर भी हम अगर उसको दिखाएं तो क्या कहते हैं कि बस उसके बाद वो बच्चा एक बार अगर समझ गया तो फिर उसके बाद वो पूरा रियल लाइफ से रिवला हुआ देखेगा, सब एक दूसरे से कनेक्टेड है। अगर हम यहाँ पर एक सिलेंडर भी बना दें और सिलेंडर का बकेट से, क्योंकि वो कोई भी, अगर हम बच्चों से पूछे कि आप क्या करते हैं, कितना बकेट पानी यूज करते हो, तो वो कहेंगे 1 बकेट से हम नहा लेते हैं। तो अगर 5 आदमी है तो 5 बकेट हुआ और घर के बाकी से 5 बकेट और ले लो, 200 बकेट है, तुम्हारे टंकी का साइज कितना होगा, तो कितना टंकी खरीदना चाहोगे, तो वो बच्चा ही, छोटा सा बच्चा बता सकता है। उसको रियल लाइफ में हम उसको पूरा का पूरा ले जा सकते हैं और उसको एकदम ब्रॉडर वे में हम पूरा क्या कहते हैं कि पूरा सोसाइटी, ये घर, पहले हम उसके घर का ले जा सकते हैं, घर के बाद हम फ्लोर पे, ये 3 फ्लोर का अगर घर है तो वहां से ले जा सकते हैं। फिर उसके बाद हम क्या कहते हैं कि अगर पूरी सोसाइटी है तो वहां ले जा सकते हैं। और इस तरह से हम क्या कहते हैं कि उसको मतलब डिफरेंट में बहुत ब्रॉडर रेंज में ले जा सकते हैं। उसका सारे पैकेजिंग का हम उसको पूरा का पूरा बता सकते हैं कि वो कैसे ये हुआ। और कुछ नहीं, लेथ इनटू वॉल्यूम है, ये स्पेस है, और उसको थिकनेस का ये जरूर ध्यान में रखने का है, क्योंकि ये अंदर का जो स्पेस है वो यहाँ पर इसके, हम बाहर से जब नापते हैं तो वो थिकनेस यहाँ पर ये रखेगा। और उसका थोड़ा सा भी अगर उसको थिकनेस का भी कॉन्सेप्ट आ गया तो वो सरफेस वॉल्यूम को एक छोटा सा बच्चे जो 8 क्लास 9 क्लास में सीखा और अगर थिंकिंग उसकी डेवलप हो गई तो पता नहीं वो कहाँ तक सोच पाएगा और उसको रियल लाइफ से वो अपने आप को कोरिलेट कर पाएगा।
Okay, thank you, Surendra Prasad ji. Jinat madam, any comment on this?
यस सर, मेरा कमेंट यही रहेगा कि मतलब आपने बहुत सारी चीजें बताए, बट लाइक आपने जो मॉडल प्रेजेंट किया उसमें वो मतलब बच्चे अपने अनुभव के साथ उसको जोड़ेंगे, क्यों और वो जरूरत क्यों पैदा होगी, वो वाला सिचुएशन मिसिंग था। मतलब मॉडल में
बच्चे को क्या कहते हैं कि वो ये क्या कहते हैं कि और अपना घर में टंकी लगाना है तो वो सब, हाँ वो सही है बताना।
लास्ट में आपने वो एग्जांपल दिया, लेकिन जो आपने प्रेजेंट किया थिकनेस वाला अच्छा था कि हम मैथ में एज्यूम करते हैं बहुत ही आइडियल से, बट वैसा होता नहीं है, रियलिटी में वो थिकनेस भी होता है किसी बक्से का। तो वो सारी चीजें बहुत अच्छी है, लेकिन आपके प्रॉब्लम में भी उस तरह का एक नीड, एक जरूरत आना चाहिए जो बच्चों को ऐसा चैलेंज दे कि वो ये सारे वेरिएबल को कंसिडर करें, बट अदरवाइज ठीक था। हाँ, ओके,
थैंक यू मुंबई रीजन। वी मूव ऑन टू Z Bhubaneswar.
Yes, sir. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, continue, please.
Good evening, everyone. I'm CK Chan from KB number 1 Balasore, representing ZIT Bhubaneswar. Actually, we are given 2 mathematical modeling, one from any of the topic of ancient mathematics, starting from class 6 to 8, and another from anyone from real life situation. And I am here going to present one mathematical model from the topic algebraic identities of class 8. And the topic I have chosen is like this. Algebraic identities, and it is been prepared by my team. Let's proceed. As we proceed to teach mathematics in class 8, and especially the chapter algebraic identities, it is of immense importance. The students learn the identities very well. If we teach them by chalk and talk method, they may forget. But if we approach, if we adopt an approach that is through a mathematical modeling, then they understand the meaning, they understand how the identities we are arriving at, how we are finding the identities, how we are proving the identities. So by using various models, two-dimensional models, we can use to teach mathematics and especially these identities in a better way, demonstrated by working geometrical 2D models. Following identities can be demonstrated. A plus b whole square, as you all know, a square plus 2ab plus b square. A minus b whole square is equal to a square minus 2ab plus b square. A square minus b square is equal to a plus b whole into a minus b. X plus a whole into x plus b is equal to x square plus a plus b whole into x plus ab, and several more. But here I am going to choose only one identity, how to teach them using a mathematical model. Very simple model. A plus b whole square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. For that we need this. For making that mathematical working model, two-dimensional geometrical model, these are the materials required: paper, chart, cardboard, as you all know, marker, roller, and a pair of scissors. Next is how we'll make this simple model. We have to choose a square size paper like this as shown in this figure, and mark or you have to draw two lines, one vertical and one horizontal line, mutually perpendicular to each other, in such a way that this line divides the length into two parts. One is A and one is B. That means along the length it has been divided into A and B, and also along the breadth it has been divided into A plus A and B. That means that each side of the square is A plus B unit. So the total length of each side is A plus B. Students earlier have studied the area of polygons like square, rectangles in class and 6 and 7, even from primary. So there is no difficulty at all to find the area of a square. They can easily find out side into side. If the side is A plus B unit, then it will be, the area will be A plus B square units. Then again, by the help of scissors, they can cut separate these four parts. Before that they need to put color. Even we teachers can put colors in such a way that this big square has been represented by red color, and this small square by yellow, and there are two congruent rectangles, as you can see. One is green and another is blue. So four different colors we have divided this square into, and this square now can be divided using a scissor into four parts like this: a big square of each side A small square of each side B, red color is the big square, and smaller one is the yellow square, and two congruent rectangles. You can put same color or two different colors. Now they will find out the area of each these constituent parts. They know that this is a square of side A, so its area will be A square. Again, this small one is another square, its side is B, its area will be B square. Then each rectangle has sides A and B, so their area each will be A into B, that is AB each. So that means they can find total of the areas of these four parts as S square plus AB plus AB, that is 2AB plus B square. Now an important part is that student must realize that the original square which has been cut into four different parts, so the area of the original square must be equal to the total areas of these fragments. So this concept they can understand. When we divide a particular surface into so many fragments, so many parts, we are not changing the quantity of surface. That means area remains the same. So in that way they can correlate the area of the original square as equal to the sum of the areas of these four parts. So they can find, so if the original square is of having side a plus b length, so its area will be square of a side, square of the side, that is a plus b whole square, which will be equal to the sum of all these four parts, a square plus ab 2ab and b square. So in this way they can remember, but before that, before remembering is not that important, they can generalize, they can find out the formula, the identity by themselves through this model. A plus b whole square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. How it happened, they can understand, and also they can link this knowledge of geometry and algebra together. That means they can link the findings of geometry, algebra, and they can link this knowledge of algebra to geometry. So what variation can be there? Similarly, by using two geometrical models, the remaining identities can be also proven. Just as we saw only one identity, a plus b whole square, we can also prove many other identities like a minus b whole square also. If we, of course, there is different model in the similar way we can make for a minus b whole square, but in the same working model of a plus b whole square also we can teach a minus b whole square. Here, in place of plus b, we have to put minus b. Then, as students know that a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus 2b plus b square. So in place of b, they will put minus b. They know the integer operation at plus into minus is minus, so they can easily find a square plus 2a whole into minus b plus minus b whole square. They can easily find out a square minus 2ab plus b square. Apart from this,
okay, sir. Learning outcome.
Okay, sir. So they can link this knowledge of algebra to geometry, and they can solve many other questions like finding squares of big numbers, 100, 1 square, 120 square, and so on. And only not only this model will help them to understand other similar models to learn algebraic identity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Over to Janet, madam.
Yeah, so this model is actually very widely used. This is area model only to explain some algebraic identities, but I would wanted you to even say the assumptions here that this model will only work if the child is already knowing the area formula, like the area is length into breadth. So that it assumes that the child will be knowing, otherwise the child won't be able to engage with a lot of these results. Secondly, you also used minus b. So, but when we are measuring something, we will never have the measure in negative number. So how will you deal with that kind of thing with this area model? So maybe this is something to think about, which you can think and maybe address it in some other situation. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Can we move on to the...
Srinivas, sir, I have a small question, please.
Yes, sir. That question will be answered, sir. Question will be answered.
Please, I sent in the message box.
Please wait.
I want Jeannie madam also to please respond to that.
Yes, sir. Please at the end. Please continue. Bhubaneswar region, one more.
Yes, one more. Am I audible, sir?
Yes. Please continue.
Yes. My topic is without wasting much time, I will come direct to the topic. Now, my topic is what? A girl want to buy a coat, okay, and its price is
Continue, sir, please.
Now, a girl want to buy a coat, okay, whose price is 3,000 rupees, but what happens? She gets confused when she went into the market. And why it happens? Look at here. This is the situation. The situation is what? The discount on prices of items. It is different. And that is what? The store A. The store A is giving 10% off on that same item, and additional to it is giving 20% discount. Okay. But while the store B is giving overall 30% discount. So in this case, the girl get confused where he has to go, either in store A or in store B. Because the store A is giving 10% discount and additional to it 20% discount. So he's thinking store A is giving also 10 plus 20, 30% discount, and the store B is also giving 30% discount. I think the rate is same. That girl is thinking. This is the dilemma situation. She is thinking this shop is giving more discount, and both the shop is giving equal discount. What is she can do? We can solve it mathematically. What to do? So mathematically, when we come to the topic for store A, we'll suppose the cost price is 100 rupees 100, and price after 10% discount, that will be what? 100 minus 10% of 100, the result will be 90. But again, the store A is giving 20% additional discount. Okay, so after 20% discount, the price of that code will be what? 90 minus 20% of 90. The result will be what? 90 minus 80. So it is 72. But when we will help her for store B, the cost price again, if we suppose rupees 100, okay, then price after 30% discount, that will be what? 100 minus 30% of 100. The result will be what? 100 minus 30. That is what? 70. So like this, previously she was confused that store A is also giving 30%, 10 plus 20, 30%, and store B is also giving 30%. So we can help that girls by explaining the discount terms. 10%, 20%, 30%. Later, we can calculate this. We can represent this on data handling also. We can correlate this comparing quantity chapters with the data handling. And once again, previously we have found for 100 rupees. Now later we can calculate it for 3000 rupees, and also we can represent this one on the data handling. In this way, we can correlate the two chapters, that is comparing quantities with data handling chapters. And we can help that girls also to find out the situations and find out the exact value, actually how much discount you are getting. Now the learning outcomes. The learning outcomes is what? The comparison of percent in different real life situations. They will understand the terms percent. Without knowing the terms percent, they cannot find out all these situations. And the second, comparison of discount offered in different real life problems. आजकल मार्केट में बहुत सारे डिस्काउंट्स हैं, so they can easily find out discount also with the knowledge of percentage. Thank you, sir. From the
Thank you. Any comment on that, Jainath, quickly?
Yeah, it is fine only. One thing is that regarding the bar graph which you showed, so you showed a 3D model of bar graph, but we are generally like discouraged to use 3D bar graph because it doesn't give any extra information and sometimes mislead. So maybe simpler 2D bar graph are fine. Yeah, that's it. Nothing else.
Okay, we can move on to the Chandigarh region, please, quick.
Yes, sir. Ankur Patania, sir, from Chandigarh region.
Continue, please, Ankur.
Yes, sir. Sir, I am presenting my screen to you.
Continue, please. What happened? Is the other person is ready?
I can start. I can take over.
You will take over, sir, please.
Okay. I am Avnendra. Good evening, everyone. I am getting technical support from my. I am collaborating it with my co-member, Mr. Dinesh. Now, I have taken the topic commercial mathematics, and I am taking a problem on commercial mathematics. Next. I have taken the problem that a juice seller sells a glass of juice for rupees 35 and thereby earns a profit of rupees 300 by selling 60 glasses per day. Now, if cost per glass is increased by rupees 2, how many glasses he need to sell so that he could earn same profit per day? I have started with that point. Next, please. Now, our assumption is that students already know about the cost price, selling price, and profit. So let the cost per glass be X, then the cost comes out to be, we can make out it by selling price minus cost price is equal to the profit. We can make out that the cost will be 30. Now, since the cost has to be increased by rupees 2, the increased cost will be 32 rupees, right? And therefore, he has to sell 100 glasses. We can make out that he has to sell around 100 glasses. Next up. So we have formulated the problem that since cost per glass has increased, his profit will definitely decrease. To earn the same amount of profit, he has to sell more number of glasses. As we have done earlier, that the cost per glass comes out to be 30 and glasses to be sold 100. Next up. Now, next up. Interpretation. Now, let us interpret the problem. Now, he has to sell 100 glasses of juice to earn the same amount of profit. But the question arises, will he be able to sell 100 glasses per day? Moreover, consumption of juices, it varies with seasons. So, instead of increasing, he might decrease with the number of glasses. To compensate this, following solution may help. I have taken another possibility. The other possibility is he can reduce the serving size. Now, let us assume that each serving of juice is 300 ml. It means he is using 60 glasses into 300 ml, nearly 18,000 milliliter, or we can say 18 liter. Next. Now, if he replaces these juice glasses with reduced capacity, say by Z ml, then each serving will be 300 minus Z ml. So hence total quantity consumed will come down by 60 Z as he has 60 glasses and each glass capacity is reduced by Z ml. So the total consumption by him for selling these glasses will be come down by 60 Z. So the drop in profit will be 120 rupees because earlier he was earning 5 rupees as profit for 60 per glass each. And in second case, when the cost has been increased to increased by 2 rupees, his profit is only 16 to 3, that is 180 rupees. So his profit dropped by 120 rupees. So to compensate these 120 rupees loss, or we can say his decrease, let us take now. This will be compensated by the consumption. So taking the cost factor at rupees 32 per 300 ml, our equation becomes 32 by 5Z is equal to 120. This comes out by, we are taking the cost of 300 ml is 32 rupees. So for 60, we can say 60Z, it will be 32 upon 300 into 60Z. That will be 32 by 5Z. And this will compensate his decrease in income of 120. So we can say that this will be 32 by 5Z is equal to 120 rupees. From there, the Z comes out to be 18.75 ml. It means if he replaces juice glasses of 300 ml capacity by 281.25 ml capacity, he will be able to earn the same amount of profit. Okay, next. Now, validation. Validation, I have not taken the complete validation because that will take much of time. I have I have concluded that in the process of validation, we can check that by reducing the serving size, his production cost will be lowered and he will be able to earn the desired profit. Now, the learning outcome. The learning outcomes here, I can say the first learning outcome is formulating a problem. The student will learn how to formulate a problem. Second one is establishing connection among different parameters such as selling price, cost price, profits, and so on. The third learning outcome is student need to understand that they have to be realistic while solving a problem. Only realistic solutions are to be accepted while solving a equation. And the last one, to establish a sense of responsibility towards society, how the vendors are earning their living, and be empathetic, not sympathetic, but empathetic towards them. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Nice presentation because it is clearly explaining the business tricks. Okay, over to Ms. Gina.
Yeah, and it is good that you gave like two alternative ways to actually address the same problem. Like my only interest will be to actually see how students are doing this whole thing. So yeah, that's all my comment.
Okay, over to the next presentation by Chandigarh.
Yes, sir. Ankur Pathania from KV Pathankot, sir.
Okay, continue, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, can you see the screen, sir?
Yes.
Please continue.
Yes.
Please continue.
Yes, sir. Sir, here we can see two circles are there. One is having a radius of 1 unit, whereas the second one is having a radius of 1.5 unit. Now, if you move further and find out the circumference of these circles, the circumference of circle A will come out to be 2 pi 1 unit, where 1 is the radii of the circle A, and the circumference of second circle will be 2 pi 1.5 units. On taking the ratio of these two, we get 2 upon 3 as a ratio, which means that the circumference of circle A is 2/3 that of circumference of circle B. Now I have given a spin to both these circles. Now I'm giving it again the spin to both these circles. Now what we can see here is that the length traveled in B is equal to the circumference of circle A. Now if you keep these circles together, and if I give a spin to both these, here we can easily find out that on completion of one complete revolution by circle A, the circle B has completed its 2/3 rotations only. Now this is a case when both these circles are separate. Now if I join these two circles with the help of some thread or with the help of some rubber, as we used to see in machines and everywhere. Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Yes.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So now if we attach these two circles or join these two circles with the help of some rubber string, so what will happen if we give rotation to any one of these circles? What will happen? Let us see. Now giving a rotation to circle A, the circle B has traveled only 2/3 of its total circumference. Now moving further, second round, and this is the third round. Now on this spin, we have seen that the 3 rounds of A is equal to 2 rounds of B. Why this has come? Because the ratio of circumference, the length of the circumference of these two circles are in the ratio 2:3. So for every 3 revolution of circle A, the circle B will have 2 revolutions. Now this activity can be repeated with by increasing the number of rotation. Now in this case, at present, the 6th rotation will be there for circle A. And for 6th rotation of circle A, we will get 4 rotations for circle B. Now what does it mean? Now one thing is very much clear, and a formula can be derived here, which is that the speed multiply the product of the radii remains constant. That is, here the SA and SB are the speed of pulleys. Both the pulleys measured as the number of rotation per minute. Usually we term it as RPM, rounds per minute. Now here I am taken per unit. Any unit can be there. And R1, RA and RB are the radii of both circles. Now what is the application of it for students? Now we can teach students about the concept of circumference. Then the ratio. The concept of ratio can be explained to them, as well as the relation, the final relation which we get here is inversely proportion relation, which we can also tell students that if we increase the speed, okay, if the diameter, the radius is decreased, the speed will increase, or if the radius is increased, then the speed of it will decrease. Now we can see that this has a lot of applications, because if we connect pulley A or the circle A to a shaft of any motor, it will move with a uniform rotation motion. But to get a variable speed for different purposes, we can have another B circle with different radii according to the need of speed which we are requiring. Suppose here I have taken the radius, the first one is the same A, and the circle C is having a radii of 2 units. Now here what will happen, if we rotate circle A by 1 complete revolution, the circle C will have half revolution only, because the ratio here is 1:2. Here we can see by coupling both these together. Now for 2 complete revolutions of circle A, we will get 1 complete revolution of circle C. So the learning outcome for the out of this activity will be that the child will understand the concept of ratio and inverse relation, as well as the circumference. Plus, because we have demonstrated that the child only the PPT presentation, we can do this with the help of model also, sir. Now here I am presenting my camera. You can click on my camera and you can see. Now here, sir, model is there for the same activity. Here, I have named it transmitting rotatory motion. Now, again here, the pulley 1 is having a radius of 1 inch, whereas the second one is having a radii of 1.5 inches. Yes, sir.
sir, दिखाई नहीं दे रहा आप पे.
I can see.
Okay.
Sir, you are seeing, continue.
Okay, sir.
It is okay, sir. It is okay.
Okay, sir. So the same activity a child can perform itself, because there the PPT was there, it was adjusted by the teacher only. Now here a child himself can do the activity and get a result for himself. For example, for this 1 complete revolution, this has moved by 2/3 rotation only. Now for 3 complete revolution second, and this the 3rd revolution, both position are same, the point from where it has started. Now this can be done with the multiple circles to make the concept clear to the children, sir. This is all, sir.
Thank you. This model, I think same type of model we have already discussed it with IIT Gandhinagar, I think. Okay, well.
Ankur, best.
Okay, over to Jeanette, madam, please.
Yeah, it was a very interesting model, and actually while articulating the learning outcome, you can say a lot of, it was a perfect example which integrates a lot of scientific or engineering topic. Like what came to my mind was the concept of gear, where you use different wheel to actually increase the speed or reduce the speed or things like that. So gear is extensively used in a lot of engineering and aesthetic tasks. So that can be said. And in learning outcome, in fact, the idea of circle, to some extent, angle, speed, a lot of things can come up. So that also can be articulated, I think. For this.
Yes, ma'am. Gear is a bit difficult to prepare. Gears are very difficult to prepare. That's why we have taken the pulley. Otherwise, the result will be same in both the cases, sir, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think with that we are closing, and thank you all the ZETs. Okay, now, as usual, stay back for. Okay, Jeanette, madam, your final comments, please.
Yeah, it was a very nice experience for me.
Okay, before Jeanette, 1 minute, before you do it, and some are having some confusion. They want to know the difference between maths model and mathematical modeling. You want to comment on that?
No. So it is actually same. Maybe just to write it in a short form, I wrote it as math model. It is actually mathematical model. I don't think there is much difference between math model or mathematical model.
No. Suppose we are having some working model with us that is already made, because somebody was going on showing that the cylinder, so many 3D figures they were showing, na?
Right. So they were examples of physical model. They were
Okay,
examples of physical model. Yeah, I gave some examples. There can be learning
physical
model, pedagogical model. Yeah,
A lot of modeling is there, and whenever we make any mathematical model, it's come under physical modeling.
yeah, those were examples of physical model. Not mathematical model will be when we are kind of interpreting the same thing with mathematical vocabulary, like
Okay.
equation,
Okay.
geometry.
With the aim we can construct a mathematical model to come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
Okay, then some models can be used to explain the concepts also.
Exactly. Those are pedagogical models, which I gave some examples of.
I think somebody asked a question. His question is answered, I feel. Any other question? Okay, well, thank you, friends. Thank you, Janet, madam. I think all the persons got motivated, and they have presented, and I think we have exceeded the time limit also. But anyway, I think this will definitely help the children to learn it. Therefore, please, friends, please try to understand the different types of modeling and try to make it so that your classroom will be highly interesting. Okay, thank you, Janet, madam. You can leave now.
Yeah,
Now,
thank you.
now the students, please, teachers, please give the attendance, and in the chat box, you can see the link. Please do it. It will be available for 10 more minutes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, it is not accepting the responses. Please set it, sir.
No, I think it will take some time. 1 minute, 1 minute. Now only it has come now.
It is not accepting responses.
No, it will take some time.
Expired, sir. This is expired.
Now do it. Now do it. It will accept. Just it will take.
Okay,
now
sir.
only it has been posted. Now that is one. Now try. It should accept.
Yeah, now it is okay, sir.
Just it was posted just now. That's okay. Okay, tomorrow, same time, friends. We will be having problem-based learning tomorrow at 10. So please join by 9:45. All the participants, please do the attendance. If you have done with that, you can leave.